What's really good, my people? Welcome into No Catch Up Sports Talk via Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Little. Big Nick the Quick with me as always. We're back fresh off a little summer break, 30 days off.
Summer break over.
Summer break is over. It was a lot going on while I was gone, man. I appreciate the patience from everyone. I had to go, enjoy some time, enjoy the summer before, when it's fall, we're back full tilt. NFL, then we got the NBA following right after. We got playoff baseball that I think we'll watch, but the Premier League starts. Everything. You're not gonna watch no baseball?
Man, I've watched 2 baseball games this year, and it's the 2 games I went to. Man, I'm sorry to all this. You know what it was? Real quick, so obviously I don't really get into baseball heavy till after the NBA season, but I'm on White Sox Twitter and all that. So during the end of the NBA season, which was the beginning of the baseball season, White Sox Twitter was just a bloodbath. Yeah. So by the time it was time to watch baseball, I had already been checked out. I knew what I needed to know. You know what I mean? So I've been to 2 games this year, watched 2 games, had a great time. Still love going to baseball games, but I don't like baseball enough to watch my team be bad, and I don't like baseball enough to watch other teams.
So. Yeah, that's a fact. I already know. I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, we're gonna watch a little playoff ball. At least I will. Yeah. But we got a lot to catch up on. We got to touch on, first of all, NFL training camp is now opened up. I'm going to get Nick's training camp takes. Is that a thing? Should we just sit back and actually just enjoy that it's coming back and take with a grain of salt what we're seeing with people throwing the ball around in shorts and T-shirts, and that's about it, right? Or should we actually bring takes and expect something out of the clips that we're seeing out of there? We'll talk to Sean Watson. He got 6 games. That finally came down. Big Nick the Quick. We we doubled or nothing. It was initially some steak tacos, and now it's upped to a dinner if Arsenal, whoever finishes above the table in the Premier League, Arsenal, Tottenham. So we'll figure that out.
Easy money.
You think?
That's easy.
But yeah, we got a lot to talk about, man. We're gonna touch on a bunch of stuff. I'm just happy to be back. We're gonna catch up a little bit. Big Nick the Quick, what's going on?
Man, just chilling, man. Enjoying summer, man. It's been a beautiful summer. Nothing too crazy, man. Just laying low. No big trips planned. I didn't have the big extravaganza like you, but you did inspire me. I think I have to put that on the menu for next year for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, do it, man. It's worth it. It's a lot of fun, and that's a once in a lifetime trip. I'll never be out there for that long ever again. And It was dope to kick it in multiple cities 4 or 5 days at a time. So
yeah,
it was
shit look dope, man. I'm glad you guys had a good time, man.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. For the people that don't know, I was out in Greece, then I went to Italy. We did Athens. I saw the Acropolis. I did all that. Partied in Mykonos. That was very, very active. I saw Mo Salah at the club. I saw a bunch of people.
Mo Salah goes to the club. I thought he's hardcore. Doesn't do that. He's not drinking though, right?
You know how the football dudes get on holiday. They go kick it. Jack Grealish in Vegas, the whole thing. So they were out. But yeah, I was in Mykonos. Then we went to Pados, hopped around a couple different islands, went to Santorini, then went over to Italy, went to Positano, did the Amalfi Coast a little bit. It was very, very legitimate. A place I really try to avoid hyped up spots, right? I don't want to go to the spot that is
the hyped up spot right now.
The hottest place via the internet, on TikTok, on IG. I try to avoid those spots, but this was worth the trip. It was crowded, but it was sick. The vantage points, the views, everything was really dope. But yeah, man, then we went up the road, went to Rome, Florence, Venice. It was awesome. So I had a really good time.
You catch any sporting events?
No, man, there wasn't really shit going on, and I wasn't really looking. Right. But there wasn't really much, man. It was the dead of summer, and it was hot. It was really hot.
Right. I always feel like you could stumble upon some random sport that you wouldn't, have. Yeah. I get, you weren't there for that, but just stumble on some random ass sport.
Yo, actually, speaking of that, I walked by an Irish pub. Yeah. I walked by an Irish pub, and I stopped to look at what because it was a bunch of English people outside watching.
Yeah.
So I stopped and looked at the TV, and this was a sport I'd never seen before. They called it what's the name? Something about it was like lacrosse and soccer mixed into one. a rugby and lacrosse mixed into one. You threw the ball through posts.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what it's called. I'm blanking. But I'll follow up and I'll hit you with it. But
yeah.
I never seen it before. But I knew it was popular because I looked at the stadium. There was 55,000 people in the seats. So like it wasn't like it was like some bullshit.
Somebody cares.
Yeah, it was Irish, I believe.
Okay.
So, but yeah, we'll figure that out. But let's get into it, man. I know we wanted to start. I don't want to talk about Lamar Jackson because I'm disgusted. I can't deal with.
There's no way we can't talk about Lamar Jackson.
Okay, well then let's open with that. Let's get that out of the way because I think the people of No Catch Up and the people that listen to us and rock with us know where we stand on people getting paid, players getting paid. Do whatever you have to do to get paid. I don't care if you sit out the year. I don't care if you sit out a year and a half. I don't care whatever you got to do. Do what you got to do to get paid. If you have to tell the team that I will study for 4 hours a day, every day, to get your deal, do what you have to do.
Let's. I feel like that particular subject was made for us. So let's kind of let's go around before we
let's just talk about the new contracts in the league, and then we'll talk about Lamar
going out there, right? Because it seems like everybody's getting paid. First off, I think I posted on Twitter: if you're a wide receiver, just hold out. I don't care if you're in your first year, your second year, your third year. If I'm Jamar Chase, I'm seriously considering holding out at this point because all these receivers are getting $25-26 million a year. And this is obviously the summer of the receiver, the offseason of the receiver. It's always the offseason of the quarterback, but receivers are getting paid. So you see DK got paid. Our boy they want to pay in San Fran, Deebo Samuel got paid.
Deebo got paid. Yeah, Hunter Renfrow got
paid. Hunter Renfrow got paid.
Yeah.
Devontae got paid.
Got paid. Yeah.
Receivers, go ahead and get your money. Now, when it comes to the quarterbacks, obviously Deshaun Watson got paid $230 million guaranteed. So for me, if I'm Lamar, that's kind of the starting point. If we're being completely honest,
you think his starting point should be up by Deshaun and not Kyler?
Yes. Because Kyler's not the level of player that Deshaun and Lamar are. He's been to the playoffs once and was terrible. You know what I mean? And you know the story with the Cardinals. They start off hot, they cool off, they back into the playoffs, they don't really do anything. So while I don't fault Kyler for getting his money, absolutely, like you need to get your money. I don't think he's at that level. If I'm up Lamar, I'm not comparing myself to Kyler Murray. That's not a floor for me. Like the floor for me is Deshaun Watson's deal, the $230 million guaranteed. From there, you can look at Russ Wilson's new deal. Who else got paid? Derek Carr. I'm not even discussing those guys. It starts with Deshaun Watson. If Deshaun Watson gets $230 million guaranteed,
coming off of what he was coming off
of in a new team, he is not a former NFL MVP. He doesn't have the winning percentage that I have. He's not taking bum squads like last year's squad to the playoffs, right? Like that's where I'm starting at, man. And I'm the next guy up. So like my issue with Lamar isn't that he hasn't signed a deal yet. It's that he hasn't signed a deal yet and he's taking his ass to training camp.
Well, this is the thing about that, right? So from me reading between the lines and everything that he comes out and says is like, I'm going to have a deal before the season starts. And it seems kind of like if I don't, it's a hold in, as they call it. Like I'm in camp. I'm here. I'm not going full tilt. I'm not doing anything crazy. But I expect to have a deal before week 1 if you want to see Lamar Jackson suited up number 8 in purple and black come Sunday. So that's kind of what I'm reading between the lines. My gut tells me I think this guy just loves playing football a little too much. And I mean that by saying I think he's gonna get in the spot where it's like time to play or not, and he's gonna pick play without the new deal. And I hope that's not the case. That's kind of my gut feeling with Lamar is that he's gonna get down to the point where it's time to play football that counts, and he's gonna play.
Well, you know the problem with that,
regardless of a deal or not.
The problem with that is the Baltimore Ravens also feel that way too.
That's what I'm saying.
Clearly, because they're not pressed. Like when I sent you that social media clip and you're like, oh, that's just some 25-year-old intern tweeting that. I'm like, it doesn't matter. They're not pressed. Like they're just not pressed. He's there. He's in camp. You want to put pressure on people? Apply pressure. Go to Cabo. Don't show up. Which had me thinking, like, have we ever seen a starting quarterback actually hold out in the training camp? Not one of these like rookie deal, Jamarcus Russell, Sam Bradford type things, but like entrenched starting quarterback holdout of training camp for a new deal? Like, has that ever been done that you can think of? I can't think of any quarterback that's ever held out.
Like in actual training camp.
Yeah, like an actual real holdout, like Roquan Smith holding out. Like, I'm not coming.
Yeah. I mean, we saw what Rodgers did last year. He showed up, but he was starting to push it. But you know what?
Rodgers' situation to me it's a whole nother But we've never really seen a guy be like, yo, I need for a deal. For like an actual, like, I need a deal, like your traditional holdout. Like, we haven't seen that, right?
Well, the reason you don't see it is because they're holding out prior to camp and it gets done before camp starts.
The Kyler Murray.
Yeah, exactly.
Pre-holdout.
Remember,
this isn't done. There's a reason Kyler Murray's deal got done 10 days ago.
Remember when the Kyler Murray stuff broke and I said, listen, I don't really agree with how he's going about this.
Yeah.
But this is how you get a deal. Like, he's going about this all wrong. I don't really like how he's doing it, but I'm going to tell you what. How many months ago did he press them?
Yeah, right after the season was over.
What was that? 3-4 months ago?
It was right after the season was over.
He said, I'm pressing these dudes flat out to get. I'm telling you right now, I'm not coming. Don't expect me until I get a deal. And what do you know? He had the Cardinals in a headlock, and he got a new deal, $160 million guaranteed, 5 years.
And they still railroaded him right after the fact too by releasing that. Now, and for anybody, that's 100% an Arizona Cardinals leak. Just like the shit. Remember when he first asked for the deal? There was a whole bunch of coaches are worried about this. He's not really a leader. The Cardinals have been leaking shit on him since the end of the season to make him look bad, and it keeps backfiring on them. He will not finish out his career in the Arizona Cardinals. That's a guarantee for sure.
Yeah.
That's not a good situation. They 100% leaked that contract detail thinking it would make them look good. And all it did is like, well, so you mean to tell us you just gave a guy $200 million that you don't trust that he does the work?
Yeah, basically.
4 hours a week?
Yeah.
That's 30 minutes a day.
But that's the thing. Like, I wonder, I guess at that point, if you're Kyler and his people, you're like, I don't care what this says. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 4 hours? No problem.
And then even say he can't look up. Do you see the details? Like, he can't look at his phone. He can't be playing.
No,
video.
I didn't see that.
Yes, it said it's 4 hours of uninterrupted study time, which is no being distracted on the internet, no playing video games, not entertaining guests. Like, they literally told him he has to sit in his room for 4 hours a week and study film.
Huh.
And then leaked it. They leaked the. There's no way Murray's team would leak that shit. That was leaked by the Cardinals. What a disaster.
So,
but yeah, to your point, you get that shit done before camp. Yeah. Everybody understands that. Like, you're pre-holding out. Kyler told them, I'm not showing up. They got his deal done, but they knew Lamar was always showing up.
Right.
So what's the pressure to get the deal done? And it's not like this is a new thing. We're going on 18 months now. You and I have been talking about. We were talking about Lamar Jackson's deal before last year. Why is he going to this year's deal without a deal or any framework of a deal being laid out? So here we are, a week and a half into training camp, the next season, and we're talking about Lamar playing on a franchise tag?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. I know this is a precarious position for a head coach to be in, right? But is there anything, could Harbaugh be doing more? Because that's what I was thinking about. Like, what if Harbaugh came out and was like, man, look, like, kind of back this quarterback, like, yo, let's get this guy a new deal. He deserves a new deal. I don't see why he doesn't have a new deal. Or is that just something you stay out of?
Yeah, Harbaugh's an employee of the team, number one. It's not.
Yeah,
but you just stay out of it. You stay out of it, man. Just like players stay out of other players' business, I think coaches stay out of that.
No, but I also need a good starting quarterback in this league he knows if Lamar's not playing his job, they're going to be bad.
Well, that's why you don't show up to camp, right?
No. I'm strictly talking about Harbaugh.
Sure. You're talking about Harbaugh, but I'm just saying to back up the point of not why we say don't show up to camp. 8 days without a quarterback, you're going to be calling Lamar getting the deal done. But yeah, I digress.
And well, I get what you're saying. Like that's why you even put Harbaugh's feet to fire. Like, hey man, we got maybe Harbaugh.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey,
but Harbaugh's looking at it in camp. Like, oh, maybe
Huntley was cool in relief, but I'm not going through the whole offseason of the what's his name? Whatever. Shout out Tyler Huntley. Tyler Huntley experience. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what I signed up for. So yeah. If you're Harbaugh, you might be talking to ownership like, hey, get a deal done. But I don't think you go out publicly. And the Ravens, I think. The Ravens are one of those organizations, kind of like the Steelers, where like it doesn't seem to get messy. You know what I mean? Like they handle themselves in a very professional, tight-lipped type way. And from all the reporting around this holdout or whatever, not holdout, this contract situation is you can't really get too much from either side, right? Like if Shefty doesn't have shit on it, Rappaport doesn't have shit on it, like it's just kind of being kept close to the chest. So I don't know what he's asking for. Maybe
that's
he's in
the other
there saying,
question too.
Give me $300 million guaranteed. Which, hey, look, check it out. That's what you asked for, man. If Deshaun Watson get $230 guaranteed after sitting out for an entire year and having 24 sexual assault allegations against him, then I'm Lamar Jackson. I've been a model citizen. I show up to everything. To the point, maybe, hey, I did come to camp as a sign of good faith, right? But check it out. If I'm him right now, I'm like, if the deal's not done by Friday, I'm not coming back next week then. I came here for 2 weeks. Showed you guys I'm dedicated, right? Showed you I'm a team player. I still don't have a deal. Kyler's getting deals. This guy's getting deals. Receivers are getting deals. What's the problem? And look at my record. And I don't want to hear any of that other shit. Look at my record. When I play, we win. When I play, we win. Y'all give me no. All my running backs were hurt last year. I played, we won. I got no receivers. I played, we won. Hardball was about to be out of a job. I played, we won. Ever since I got here, all we've done is win.
Cody P dropped it. Do you guys think Lamar has any leverage because the offense is built around him and they completely changed their offense when they drafted him? Of course. He's the whole team.
Yeah, their whole roster is.
He's the entire team. He's the entire franchise. He has all the leverage in the world.
He's way up there.
He has all the leverage in the world. That's why.
Every day he's in camp, he takes a step down, though.
I will say this, man. Man, it's a tough situation.
It's not to me.
It's a tough situation because we don't know what he's asking for. We don't really know what's going on. But I hope Dak should call him. But look, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Don't do it. I just did this a couple years ago. I snapped my leg. Luckily
we were terrible.
Got back and still got paid.
Yeah.
And I got lucky because it was a bone injury. It was just a simple leg break. I went into surgery, got casted up. I was back fine. It's all good. It wasn't a major knee reconstruction. It wasn't a crazy neck injury or something like that.
Something where I'm not going to get paid.
Exactly.
And I'm not responsible for rushing for 700 to 1,000 yards a season.
Yes, exactly. And I'm going to say this. And I'm going to say this one last time. If Lamar Jackson walks out on the field without a deal, the Baltimore Ravens are going to run that man into the complete dirt. He's going to be on kick return, punt return.
Robert Griffin. That's why RG3 is my fucking first pick now.
You think I'm kidding? He's going to be nickel corner.
Monster.
But like in all seriousness, he's going to have tons of carries. He's going to be they're going to get him the ball as much as they physically can while paying him the least amount of money they possibly can. So
what do you think his thinking is behind going to camp though, other than just as a sign? Like maybe it was a sign. Like, showing up in Baltimore to me is a sign of good faith. Going out there and putting on pads, like that's a whole nother step. So someone was on the other day saying, if you're the I think it was Tannenbaum who was like, if I'm the Ravens, you're not putting him in any types of harm's way. Like there's a handshake agreement that hey, we won't get you hurt while this is going on.
There's no such thing as that, by the way.
Yeah, I don't agree.
Like
with that
you go out, you put on spikes and you go out on the field and you're doing stuff, you can get hurt.
Yep.
And secondly, I just think this guy loves football. I think he's very confident in himself, and I think he's kind of like he doesn't strike me as being very pressed about it.
No. Obviously, he showed up to camp like, hey.
So, like, like he tweeted the other day on, like, the AB things, like, I can't wait to do this dance. And that means, who knows what that means? Like, it could mean after he gets a deal, before he gets a deal. But I just think he doesn't seem very pressed. I think he loves playing ball, and he's like, okay, you guys don't want to give me a deal right now. Then I think part of him is like, I'll just go out and play on it. Fuck it. And we'll see what happens. I really think my gut tells me that's kind of his personality and kind of how he wants to go about it. Because he doesn't seem. Do you remember how aggressive Aaron Rodgers was before he got a deal and when people started getting shipped out? I'm not saying he's on Aaron Rodgers' stature, but dude, even Kyler Murray, guy's done nothing.
Yeah,
he started writing letters. he started telling people all types of shit.
Writing letters, delete his Instagram.
Do you know what I'm?
Shit.
Yo,
yeah.
do you know what I'm saying?
So that's what I'm saying. And what happens? They apply pressure. They got a deal.
I have yet to see a football player that's really good in the league that can make an impact in the league that plays hardball lose.
Especially when you're a quarterback.
I haven't seen. Let me repeat that. I haven't seen an NFL player that's one of the best at their position in the league play hardball and lose.
Right.
They always get a deal. They may have to sit. The most extreme case of all time is Le'Veon Bell, who sat out the whole year and he got paid at the end of it.
He's fine.
So I've never seen an NFL player play real deal hardball and lose, and Lamar doesn't seem to be playing.
No. I think you were right on when you said elite. There's a dude, the only dude who I've seen it really backfire on recently. My man's from the Chargers.
Yeah, the running back, Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon, yeah. He tried to play hardball. They're like, yeah, bye. And that was it. Yeah. But he didn't have any leverage. You know what I mean? He was a
yeah, exactly.
Whatever running back. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not a former league MVP. And to Cody's point, he's not someone that the offense is built around. You can't just plug other guys in here. You draft for Lamar Jackson type players. You sign all these tight ends. You sign certain type of receivers that are for Lamar. You sign running backs that are for Lamar. You sign linemen that are built to protect Lamar. Like, that is your whole program. And again, what is it? The starting record when he plays? 37-12. Come on, man, stop. That's all I'm doing. 37-12.
Yeah,
so 37-12.
It's hard to argue. So
give me $100 million per win. We're good to go. Or $10 million per win. That's $370 million. We're good to go. I'll be there.
All right, let's move off Lamar because it's very clear on where we're at. But let's talk about just training camp in general. Yeah. Anything. What do you typically when you open up The Athletic or whatever you're reading to keep up with the Bears? I've been on The Athletic and you're reading about training camp stuff.
Yeah.
How do you digest it?
I think the biggest thing to look at, I don't necessarily always look at play. I do think a couple things stood out to me with the Bears. Obviously, yesterday the Tevin Jenkins news came out. He hasn't been practicing. I thought it was an injury. Apparently, the coaching staff isn't impressed with him. For everybody that doesn't remember, Tevin Jenkins was a Bears second-round pick last year. We cut Charles Leno Jr., moved up to draft Tevin Jenkins. He was hurt for a lot of last year. Finally got in, wasn't that great. Protected Justin Fields on that one situation. But other than that, wasn't really that great, but was projected to be, the left tackle of the future. And obviously, we signed Riley Reef, some other guys, and Jenkins hasn't been playing. Then it comes out. Or Kaplan said the other day that he's been hearing that he's immature, not hitting it off with the coaching staff. And then we hear yesterday he's on the block. So stuff like that is obviously eyebrow raised. Like, that's not fluff. That's real. Also, who's getting the first team reps? Like, there's no wasted reps in the NFL, right? So, like, if you're getting a lot of reps, the team wants to feature you in their plans going forward, or at least see how that handles. So I think, when it comes to like things like the Bears offensive line, or if I had another team, my running back, whoever it might be, whoever's getting those first team reps, those are the players that you should be looking at, because it's not like JV football where you're just throwing guys in every 3 plays for bodies. You know what I mean? Holdouts, obviously. You got the Roquan situation. Who else? I think there's a few other guys holding out around the league. But if you're like, hey, man, this receiver's been tearing it up in camp, I'm kind of like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I texted Nick this earlier. All right, I mean, this is known in me and Nick talking, and I've said this before on the pod. I'm completely done with making inferences on rookies. I'll say like maybe what I kind of see in them or what I think, but I'm not really. I'm done with trying to predict if they're going to be good or not or what's happening, and that's the same thing for training camp footage.
Summer league, do you?
It's exactly what it is. I don't really care about any of this stuff. Tua going deep to Ty Hill, cool. You also can't touch Tua in practice, by the way, in case you guys forget that. No one can touch the quarterback. He's not worried about anything. I hear Justin Fields is doing this and doing that. I don't care. I don't care about any of that.
I do care about that. You don't want to hear he's playing like shit.
I don't care. I don't care if he's playing like shit either.
You don't want to hear he looks terrible.
Yeah. I mean,
I push back on that. Like I push back on that. I'm actually going on Sunday with Eli. But if you're hearing, Fields is turning the ball over left and right in camp, he can't grasp the playbook. They're obviously taking a step back. They're not able to move forward. That shit matters.
So let me get this straight. The good stuff doesn't matter, but the bad stuff matters?
I think the bad stuff matters a lot more than the good when it comes to training camp. That's my point, 110%. If he comes in looking sharp, that's what you expect. If you're not meeting that expectation, that's when I would worry, because everybody expects him. Because like you said, it's training camp, so he should come in and look sharp. Naturally, he should look better than he looked last year. If they're coming over here telling me that the new coaching staff is looking at him, like, who the hell is this? This is terrible. You're gonna be like, all right, well, hold on. You're not gonna lift the eyebrow at that. If they're like, Fields threw 10 picks today, he doesn't know the plays. He's struggling at the line. He's fucking
okay, that's an extreme example.
Like,
but I would still wait to see it on Sunday. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Like, I still need to see it on Sunday. That's my take on it. I'm done with like, oh, he looks really good, or they're doing this. The offense looks solid. You know how many times we've heard that and seen the offense come out, and it's one of the worst offenses we've seen on the Chicago. Like, it means nothing. And also, it's all manicured stuff that's being released. Who's allowed access to the field? Everything is all manicured. Like, I mean, call journalism what you want, and there's some guys that are shooting it straight. There's no question about that. But guys aren't burying people on training camp stuff. They're reporting on what they see and whatever. Like the Trey Lance stuff. I don't care about any of that. Let's see what Kyle Shanahan does on Sunday, and let's see what he looks like when the shit counts.
I care that before he throws the ball, it seems to go all the way back behind his back and then comes back up his way. You know that you play quarterback, you can't do that in the NFL.
How about this, man?
That's just gonna take 3 seconds.
How about this? Let me be more clear, because I understand what you're saying
about
Baker's
eating that.
If some negative stuff comes out, it is a little eyebrow raising, right?
Sure.
But I'm not creating an opinion or forming an opinion until I see real live action.
Of course.
So,
but I think to say
preseason
does not matter at all.
Those are real reps though against other people that are trying to tackle you though.
Yeah, and that's the same thing where I'm looking to see if you know what you're doing. As far as the result of, I have a guy who has 30 catches and 800 yards in the preseason. It's like, hey, guess what? He's probably a fringe player that played 3 quarters a game. You know what I mean? Because you have entire games where starters don't play. But if it looks like my quarterback can't adjust to the speed, can't grasp the offense, doesn't look sharper, right? Like command, like little things, man. The nuances, right? Like, what does it look like when he's coming out there, right? Because like there were times with Fields last year, I love him, but it's like it's fucking deer in headlights. He has no idea what the hell's going on out there, right? He's just waiting not to get hit. So if is he coming out? How does he look approaching the huddle? How is he breaking the huddle? How is his command, right? Like, how is he flustered in there? How do his feet look? Little shit like that, like I'll 100% like that matters to me. But as far as performance, at the end of the day, no, I care more about the other shit leading up to it. Because I think on Sunday, like you said, it's a whole different game.
Yeah, and I've also said this. To me, this is Justin Fields' rookie year. I don't even remember anything he did last year, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
that the whole year, the whole 2021 season for the Chicago Bears was a complete wash. It was a wasted year on the books. They could strike it from the history books. It doesn't even matter. And
I'll say this year, if they go 0 for 7, I think we said this already. If they go 0 for 17 this year and Justin Fields shows considerable progress, I'm happier than a pig and shit.
100%. Well, this is because it's a new regime. Yes. We have a new GM. We have a new coach. We have a new quarterback. It's all new, right? So last year was a bunch of. I mean, don't even get me started. We already talked about this. We don't need to get into this, but yeah. This is Justin Fields' rookie year for me. I'm excited to see what he does in live action, and that's when I'm going to start creating opinions on if he could play or not.
I think we're saying the same thing. It's just, I'm not going to. Again, there's just little things that would be red flags. There's red flags. There can be red flags in training camp and preseason. How about that?
No green flags, just red flags.
Not necessary. I mean, no, the green flags are there's check marks. There's check marks and red flags. Check marks. All right.
Okay.
You do this, you do this, you do that. Cool. We're checking you off. Red flag is, oh shit.
Yeah.
He's throwing off his back foot. He has no idea what's going on. Once he breaks the huddle, he looks scared. You know what I mean? Like that stuff is definitely a red flag because you don't fix that in a week.
Yeah. I agree with that. All right, let's talk about some of these quarterback storylines that we were talking about offline that we wanted to touch on because there's a lot of movement, man. We got Russ in Denver now. Mm-hmm. This is year 2 of Trevor Lawrence down, and this is his. I don't want to say this is his rookie year too because he played every game, rookie. Every snap.
Yeah.
But he also was playing for Urban Meyer, who finessed, we'll just call it that, and got a bunch of money and went ahead and took off. But
what a piece of shit.
There's a lot of there's a lot of different human being. There's a lot of different quarterbacks with new deals, new situations. Yeah, Baker down in Carolina now. Let's actually start there.
What is a Baker Mayfield? If you're a Panthers fan and I tell you that your QB competition this summer is Baker Mayfield versus Sam Darnold, do you even watch this year?
Hey, let me be clear on where I'm at on Baker.
Okay.
Because I think I think the slander is starting to get to fever. It's a little too high. He's not one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but he's a middle of the pack quarterback in the NFL when healthy. I think he's shown that. I've watched it with my own eyes. He played really, really poorly last year, but he was also in a really bad situation. He knew he was playing for his future. He was hurt
behind him,
and
throwing him under the bus.
Yeah, it just wasn't good. And I think that didn't fit really well with his personality. When he's one of those guys, when stuff's going really well, he rides it great, playing well, commercials, everything is good. I'm smiling in the media. I'm dancing at practice. Stuff's going bad. He doesn't take it very well. He takes everything personally. And that's kind of where it got to in Cleveland last night. Now, I'm going to tell you this.
Remember, it's the same thing we talk about with Harden. Why did Harden skate criticism for all that long time? Because he's got a great relationship with the media. He's seen as a very affable, likable guy.
Yeah.
Baker is not. Yeah. So it's like Baker's one of those people that they are waiting for you to fail because you will get no benefit of the doubt.
No benefit, no leniency.
You won't get the Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz benefit of the doubt that these type of guys get because you come off as standoffish, brash, arrogant, in your face, planting flags, all that stuff, which is great. Yeah. When it's going well, to your point. But when it's going bad, you're the type of dude no one has your back. Like, they're waiting. You know what I mean? You're removing knives from your back all day long when shit's not going well if you're a Baker Mayfield. And again, he brought that on himself. I'm not knocking it because I think he needs that to survive. That chip on his shoulder is kind of what makes him who he is. But he had no friends in the media when shit went sour.
Yeah. And now, so what I was getting at was Baker Mayfield's a better quarterback Sam Darnold. That's it. That's all. I don't want to hear.
I don't get Darnold.
I don't get the Darnold love at all.
What more do we need to see?
Yeah, I don't.
He sucks.
He's not the starting quarterback in the NFL.
He's not a quarterback in the NFL. He turns the ball over like it's going out of style.
Crazy. Sam Darnold will be in the league as a backup for a long time. Well, yeah, but he's not a starting quarterback in the NFL for me. So I'm interested to see how that shakes out. I think Baker can bring some life out there. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, they don't have shit going on.
No, nothing.
So let the guy with the chip on his shoulder come in there and try to make a difference. He'd be the guy where the Panthers started winning a couple of games, and he'd be the Panther.
Yeah, for sure.
I love Carolina. I love Charlotte.
I love it out here, man. Charlotte's
trying
amazing,
to make a difference out here. Yeah, exactly.
Shout out LaMelo and the boys.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's at Hornets game. No, exactly.
100%. Yeah, he wants to love. He also soaks up the hate.
Exactly.
He acts like he soaks up the hate, but you know what it is with people who soak up the hate? They really soak up the love. Anybody who soaks up the hate like that really soaks up the love. Because the love is like, I told you so. I'm the man. Yeah, give me my flowers. I want the love. I want to be one. I'm a walk-on. I went to 2 schools. I got traded from the first team that wanted me, like all that shit. He's going to soak up the love. So, like, to your point, if he does a good job out there, yeah, absolutely. And I don't blame them for making the move. If I'm that coach, they gave him all that money. He hasn't done shit. You bring in Darnold last year. He does nothing. Like, why not go grab Baker? Like, I was surprised he was dangling out there that long. I think it came down to personality. Some organizations just aren't going to deal with that. But to your point, I don't think he's the worst quarterback in the league. I think he's somewhat serviceable, but he can't be the reason. You know what I mean? He can be a part of what you're doing. Remember when they were good, it was Chubb and Hunt, and they were running all over the place. Stefanski would take the ball out of his hands. Baker make a play on 3rd down. Don't turn the ball over, and get us to the finish line. And they went to the playoffs that way. So yeah, I don't have a problem with it, and I wish him nothing but the best, man. I got nothing against Baker. I like Baker.
Do you?
It doesn't bother me at all. I kind of like Baker. I like it, man. I don't. It doesn't. Some guys like that rub me the wrong way. I kind of like it with him. It doesn't bother me. I want him to do well. I got no ill will towards the guy at all.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think he's just.
I don't like Sam Darnold.
He doesn't. He doesn't go about it the right way all the time. But no. I think I have no. I have no quarrels with Baker Mayfield. No question.
Yeah, for sure, man. Do your thing.
What do you think about this situation in Denver? Russ leaves.
Yeah.
Apparently, that situation in Seattle was actually like really, really bad. And then Russ just came out and came to the press conference and said, "Go Hawks!" And then for over and over and over again, but behind the scenes, it was just. I think the Seattle
Richard Sherman been telling us that for years.
I think the Seattle Seahawks win 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, did Pete Carroll step down or no?
No, Pete's still there.
He's still there.
Yeah, he's trying to. I just heard him the other day trying to sell me Drew Lock and our boy.
I mean,
why am I blanking on our guy's name? West Virginia legend,
Charlie Whitehurst.
Pat White, the quarterback that's on the Seahawks. He played a couple of games last year.
Pat White,
come on, Geno Smith, man.
Oh, Geno Smith is still in the league. Oh, shout out Geno.
Dude, he's about to start.
Remember when Geno didn't pay his debts? Folks smacked him.
I forgot about that.
He was the starter and he got stolen off him.
He told him, he said,
7th round pick.
He said, "I don't care if you a rook or not, face of the franchise or not. You owe me some money, dog. You better." Money. I forgot about that.
It was Geno was supposed to go to Dude's camp. Dude bought him a ticket. Geno didn't go to the camp. Dude was like, "Yo, I need my money back." And Geno was like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
Dude saw him in camp, fucking stole him and broke his face. But it was one of those things though, where like no one really came out against Dude that punched him. It was like everybody was like, "Yeah, Geno was wrong for that."
Yeah,
it was like $700. It's like,
yeah, facts.
You should have given this man his money. He's out here playing for like $800 a week. You know what I'm saying? You over here got a 4-year deal. So yeah, shout out Geno.
Yeah, I completely forgot about Geno Smith getting smacked. Yeah. So no, Pete Carroll was in front of the mic. I heard him the other day. He's telling us that Geno and Drew could get it done. They could win a lot of games.
Yeah, right.
So,
okay.
Yeah, I'm not going for that. This will probably be Pete's last year. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm gonna call that right now. But
I think you even said it last year or a couple of years ago when you had the Russ MVP ticket. It was like if Russ wasn't playing like out of his mind, they could not win a ball game.
Yeah, that was it.
He had to play out of his mind, and then when that finally slowed down, the team fell off a cliff.
I think. Well, this is the thing. I think when he was at that MVP level for those first, I think it was like the first 8 weeks of the year, and then he kind of fell off towards the end. He was on fire, and then last year he just wasn't bought in. He's like, this shit's not working. I'm tired of dealing with Pete. The whole situation is just not good.
I asked for linemen. Y'all don't give me linemen.
Exactly. I asked to do this. You don't input me in the game plan and the offense and what we got to do. So, I'll just go ahead and cruise out this year, and then I need to be moved. That's it. Yeah. So what do you think is going to happen in Denver? Is he going to show up like MVP looking Russ? I think they're going to be really good, but they're also in a really tough conference in the AFC West. Or division, I should say. So
all we've been hearing the last 2 years is if only Denver had a quarterback. If only Denver had a quarterback.
That's true.
I think, look, the AFC West is tough. I think some of the AFC, I heard Greeny called it maybe the best division ever the other day. It's like, pump the brakes. Remember some of those NFC West years where you had the Hawks, the fucking Niners, and the Rams were good? Like those were real division. Like and the Cardinals were like 8-8 type shit. Yeah. Like that. Those are some of the better divisions. You've had some NFC
and East everybody played crazy D. Those NFC West divisions were sick.
And everybody's home field was crazy. Like
shout out Kaepernick.
Arizona. Arizona was an unknown home field. You had the Seattle 13th man shit or 12th man shit. Like, yeah, dog. So I think that those are some of the best. I think that we're getting crazy on some of this AFC West love. But I will say,
are you saying before we even see any of it play out?
You haven't seen any of it play out. We haven't seen any of it. It's like, I like Herbert, right? But that team is still a little bit behind him. Can he bring that team up to where they need to be? They did some dumb shit last year. Denver, it's like, we are injecting the quarterback in there, but it's a new situation. He's got to adjust. Let's see what happens. I'm excited about it. Carr, I like the Raiders. I actually think they did really. If you look at what they did last year after everything that they went through, you had a receiver kill somebody. You had fucking coach come out with slurs and get fired in the middle of the year. You're playing a new building. Derek Carr held it together. Say what you want to. He's a corny dude, right? Corny as fuck.
He's just a straight edge. Yeah, he's a straight edge guy.
I kind of like the guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think he's solid.
I think he rides for his guys. That's the biggest thing you want.
They love him. They love him.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams said, I'm going over there to play with that dude.
Yeah.
You understand? So, and who's the other team? And the last team is whatever.
It's
right?
the Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers.
The Chiefs. Yeah, the Chiefs. So, yeah, I mean, man, that division is going to be crazy, man. I still got the Chiefs winning it, though.
I find this Mahomes coming out talking about we're not getting the respect we deserve pretty funny. Yeah. Or like he's talking about black quarterbacks and having to prove himself over and over again. The fact that he even addresses that stuff is stupid to me. I wouldn't even talk about that stuff. You know what the fuck's been going on the last 4 years when I'm at the helm?
Yeah.
What are y'all even talking about?
Right.
Next question.
2 Super Bowl appearances. The one I lost was to Tom.
Yeah. Like, cut it out. What are we talking about?
I didn't even hear that he said that, but yeah. I mean,
he was talking about the Kyler thing and him not studying, and then the Lamar situation, and he said basically that black quarterbacks continue to have to prove themselves, and one guy had a report that didn't put Mahomes in tier 1 and said once you get him off his first read, he plays backyard football and that can be stopped, but no one stopped him yet.
Where? When and where? Yeah, where is that?
I don't know what he's talking about.
I will say this though, to the backyard football quote type thing, he does do that, and I think his biggest weapon. I think when you talk about like who's going to miss who more, is Rodgers going to miss Adams more?
The Ty Hill, yeah.
Ty Hill allowed the plays to break down for him because what Ty Hill knew he was on the same page. We're breaking down on. I'm just fucking running
I'm out
as fast as I can somewhere to some spot where there's daylight, which we saw. Remember the playoffs? He finds a spot that's daylight. He broke a route in the playoffs. Forget which game it was. He broke the route, ran to daylight, and Mahomes got it to him there, right?
Yeah.
So they have that type of shit that you can't really replace any other type of way, right? So I think that is going to be an issue, but I'm not worried about Pat Mahomes struggling.
Yeah.
And Pat Mahomes is 100% tier 1. We were talking about last year. Is this dude the best
he's
quarterback
above
we've
tier
ever
1.
seen? Yeah,
he's above tier 1. He's not even in tier. He's not in tier home because we don't talk about it. He's the best quarterback in the league.
Best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From a skill standpoint. So I'm not worried about that. And the Chiefs have always drafted well, and Andy Reid has always put guys in position to have success. There's a reason why Reid goes places and you have sustained success. In Philly, sustained success. In the Chiefs, since he's been there, sustained success. So I trust the program over there. That's why I think they're going to win that division. But the division is going to be fun. I'm excited to see Herbert. I think
me too.
He's going to take that year 3 leap. I'm excited.
I think he is going to have to. I mean, that team defensively too. Derwin James.
Yeah,
we got Mac.
He stays healthy.
Yeah, if he stays healthy, Mac's going to have people. People that aren't from Chicago that listen to this pod. I'm going to tell you this: Khalil Mack took the entire year off last year.
Sure did.
And maybe the second half of the year before that off.
Yep.
Folks was cruising. He play a snap here, play a snap there. He's going to a spot in LA with the Chargers where they're going to be competitive and he's going to want to play hard and they're going to be good. Yeah. So I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see the Chargers overall.
Sure.
And they're going to keep the pedal on the metal going for 4th down. That was their thing last year. 4th and 7 doesn't matter. Staley goes. So that'll be exciting. I wonder if Herbert will start to run. I wonder if they'll have more design runs like they do for Josh Allen out in Buffalo for Herbert.
Allen's a slightly better athlete, wouldn't you say?
I don't know if he's Herbert
does athlete. I guess Herbert does have a little bit of. He does have some wheels.
I think he's a little bit of a better athlete, but I know this for a fact. He's bigger. Josh Allen is just huge.
Oh, Josh Allen's way. Yeah, I was about to say Josh Allen's way bigger. Aren't his red zone numbers like he's the best red zone quarterback statistically, like in the history of the NFL, right?
Yeah. So that's like where it could get a little spooky. You don't want to beat up Herbert because Josh Allen can. It seems like anyway that he could deal with the punishment because he's big enough and he's taking shots and doesn't seem like that big an issue. But I'd be interested to see if he gets a little more running going this year for Herbert.
On Josh Allen, the trajectory tells us that he's going to be at a different stratosphere this year if he continues on his current path of just excellence. And again, we talk about it. It's crazy to see where Josh Allen comes from, but that's what happens when you develop a quarterback. That's what happens when the program is to develop a quarterback. Hey, McDermott, what's your job? Develop the quarterback. All right, cool. I'm going to bring in this offense. Hey, we developed the quarterback. That's it.
And there's been times, too, for Buffalo when they've been really, really good defensively, and then offense has kind of been struggling, and then the offense is really good, defense is struggling. If they could get on the same page, super dangerous. They had a bunch of games last year where they just disappeared against really bad teams because I lost money. I remember they lost to like Miami.
Yep.
They like lost at home to another really, really bad team. But those are the two guys I want to see the most: Josh Allen, and Herbert.
So those are your top guys, the top situations you're looking at going into the year.
No question. The things I see from Herbert, it looks like baby Aaron Rodgers to me. And I've watched Aaron Rodgers very closely my entire life. I've been an Aaron Rodgers fan since I don't even know since he took over the helm in Green Bay. I've been telling y'all he's the best quarterback I've ever seen, and he's continued to do that year in, year out. But the stuff that I see from Herbert kind of reminds me of a lot of that stuff. So I'm excited to see that guy get rolling this year.
Okay. I'm excited for some of the year 2 guys. We already talked about Trevor Lawrence a little bit. A lot of these guys are doing a redo of their rookie year. I feel like they just had bad coaching situations, bad personnel situations. Lawrence, obviously, like the talent was there in college, so I kind of want to see what he can do. I think that was just a terrible spot for him to be in. Zach Wilson in New York, talk about training camp love. He's getting some training camp love. I thought he was awful last year. Like in everything I watched, he looked terrible, but let's see. You know who I think it's funny, man, because this team, from what I'm hearing, isn't getting a lot of love. And I can't understand why, when your quarterback was good as a rookie, right, took you to the playoffs, and you're coming into your second year, you obviously trust the head coach, is the Patriots. Why is there no New England love? Why are we not expecting Mac Jones to take that leap? Like, Mac Jones was in a QB battle last year with Cam Newton for half a camp. He had a great rookie year. I thought was poised, led that team to playoffs, didn't do too much, but didn't hurt them. Everything that I'm hearing is like, yo, Mac Jones came back into camp this year. He's that guy. But then at the same time, it's like, yeah, I don't know about the Patriots. It's like, wait, what are we talking about here? Bill has been showing you for years. He doesn't need a whole lot. If his quarterback is good, that's a team to watch out for. So I'm excited to kind of see what Mac's going to do, man. I liked Mac Jones a lot last year.
Yeah, they're getting no love.
No love. And it doesn't make any sense. They make the playoffs every year.
Yeah. No, Mac looked good. They say he's in the best shape of his life. We saw some pictures of him looking slim.
Anymore.
Looking slim. He's flexing in pictures.
Yeah.
They were really good last year for a majority of the year. They tailed off towards the end, but they were really, really good.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick's Bill Belichick. They did lose. We didn't even bring this up. You want to talk about Derek Carr and the Raiders and Devontae. They got Josh McDaniel.
Yeah, but then didn't he bring in 2 other guys that were he brought your mans from New York back. Well, they don't have coordinators. You know, they don't have a coordinator on either side of the ball. There's no offensive coordinator.
Well, I was just bringing up really quick that the Raiders also have Josh McDaniel, who's going to be calling the plays for Carr and Devontae and all of them. That's a big, big plus for them. And that's a big loss for New England.
He does a great job finding it. It's Belichick. It's Belichick.
Josh Josh has been around for a very long time, and he's been calling that offense for, how long?
Of the 6 Super Bowls, I'd like to see how many different OCs they've had.
I'll look it up.
McDaniels is probably there for 2 or 3 of them. Who else? Who was the guy? Wasn't Mangini an offensive coordinator for them?
Yeah, I believe so.
The coach of the Jets. Yeah, I know. I hear you. That's a huge loss. Like, he obviously trusts them. I think Matt Patricia's helping with the offense. Remember Matt Patricia?
Yeah.
But I'm not overly worried about that, man. I think that again, that starts and ends with Belichick. He's going to be in charge of the offense. He knows what he's looking for. He knows some of the shit that McDaniels was doing. I mean, that's the type of head coach that's involved in everything you got going on.
Belichick is not worried. He's not doing no He's not worried about offense like that. He might get on the mic and be like, hey, run the goddamn ball. He might say something like that. But
run the ball.
Here we go. Look, Josh McDaniels, New England. First of all, he started as a defensive assistant, too, which is pretty funny.
Crazy, yeah.
New England Patriots quarterback coach, 04 to 05. Offensive coordinator and quarterback coach, 06 to 08. So he's been on the offensive side from 2004 to 2008. Then he went and coached the Broncos, which was a disaster.
No, it wasn't, though. I mean, he developed an offense that got Tim Tebow to the playoffs, which is
one of the greatest feats in
coaching history. and won a playoff game with Tim Tebow.
I mean, he was only there for
flukiest playoff game ever.
Yeah.
What's his name? Ike Taylor?
Shout out, rest in peace, man. 88. Why am I blanking on his name?
Demaryius Thomas.
Demaryius Thomas.
No,
yeah,
but
he caught that. He caught that touchdown to win the game.
Who's the Steelers DB that got burned on that? It wasn't Ike Taylor. It was he got burned.
Yeah, crazy.
Lived in infamy forever in Pittsburgh. Probably can't even go back to Hines.
Okay, look. So then he went to the Rams. Then he was back on the Patriots from 2012 to 2019. I bet you he was there for all these Super Bowls.
He probably might have been there for a lot of them. Yeah, that's a good point.
Offensive coordinator. So then he was just the offensive coordinator in 2020. So he was.
What a good job to get. And remember, he took a job last year and then went back on it, right? Which job did he take last year? And then
the Colts.
Yeah, and it was like, no, fuck that.
Nah, I'm straight.
But then the Raiders job, what a job. It's like, yeah, you get a quarterback, you got an all-star receiver, you got a brand new building, and you're playing in Vegas.
Yeah, he has 6 Super Bowls. Josh McDaniel.
So 6 of the 7 he was there. 6
of the 7.
Oh no, 6 of the 6.
6,
no,
6 of the 6, and then 7 with Tampa Bay. Yeah, he was there with all of them. So
Tampa Bay. So yeah, he was there for all of them. Yeah,
that's a big loss for them on the offensive end. And Mac Jones as a rookie coming in to play for Josh McDaniel's offense and being able to come into that toolage was big. So we'll see.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. They played really well. I think Mac is a solid NFL guy in his first year. For his first year in the league, that was a very, very solid year for his rookie season. So yeah, I agree with that.
You know who I think is going to have a good year? You're going to hate this, but I think it's funny and no one really talks about. I think the Colts going from Carson Wentz to Matt Ryan is not being talked about as how much of an upgrade. I know we don't love Matt Ryan, but boy, do we hate Carson Wentz. Like, we understand what you're getting with Carson Wentz. Like, yeah. Matt Ryan is going to come in there and he's just going to right the ship for them. It's going to be steady. He's a guy that
mistakes. He's not going to make a lot of mistakes.
I know the program. You guys, this is what we're supposed to do. This is where we line up. It's not about me like it was with Wentz. People get along with them. And it's just like, we're just going to go out there and play nice football. That division isn't too crazy. What is it? The Colts, the Jags, the Texans, and the Titans. Yeah, we don't know what Tannehill is. Like, Tannehill's fucking.
I know what Tannehill is.
Yeah, we know what Tannehill is. So they could sneakily come in and be 10 or 11-5. Because they lost a lot of games because of Wentz last year.
The thing too is, like, listen, it's on wax. I'm not a big Matt Ryan fan. I'm not a big Matt Ryan in the Hall of Fame guy type of thing. He threw a lot of interceptions when he was expected, and everyone knew in the building, especially on the other side of the football, that he was going to have to throw the ball every down. Yeah. That was what they did. They had Julio. They had the whole thing, right? They've always thrown the ball a ton. Now he gets to go to Indy. They have the best running back in the NFL.
Second.
Who's number one?
Tennessee, Derrick Henry.
I don't know if I can give that to him right now.
Jonathan Taylor's a better running back than Derrick Henry?
Jonathan Taylor. Did you watch Jonathan Taylor last year?
You watched Ryan Tannehill and then ask yourself how this team wins 11 games every year?
Okay. I mean, listen, I'm not going to argue with you if hey, listen, if you have
we talked about it all last year at Tennessee. We know exactly what they're going to do.
Well, you knew what Indianapolis was going to do too, and Jonathan Taylor still went for 110, 120 every night.
No, he's a beast.
So sure. I'm not going to argue if you got Derrick Henry number one, that's cool. If you got Jonathan Taylor number one, that's cool too. But
defense okay in Indy. Defense is okay.
Defense is solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
The defense is solid. So that's kind of where it gets a little spooky. They're going to be able to run the ball, and then they got a vet that they don't need to throw the ball 40 times.
Yeah, and he knows what he's going to do. He's played in big games.
Yep.
And and he stays healthy too. Matt Ryan never gets hurt.
Yep, and it's still indoors.
Yeah.
So he's still indoors doing his thing. So yeah, that is.
Yeah, I think that's a good situation for Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely, especially for a little. It's going to be similar. Do you know what it's going to be like? It'll be similar to what Phillip Rivers came in and did. To be honest, I don't see why it'll be any different.
And Matt Ryan's better.
They're both okay.
Like we forget Ryan was a league MVP and went to a Super Bowl.
He should have won the Super Bowl.
What a different.
Kyle Shanahan probably smoked that Super Bowl.
If one half of football would have went different, Kyle Shanahan.
No. Not even a half, bro. A couple of plays after Julio catches that ball on the sideline at the 28, run the ball twice, and then you probably win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's a whole other story. Yep. But yeah,
it's an upgrade.
Yeah, it's an upgrade. There's a lot of different quarterback storylines, and that's who runs the league. The quarterback that I'm excited to see. Me and Big Nick the Quick are both excited to see.
You're not excited for Daniel Jones year 4?
Shout out Daniel Jones for staying under the radar, man.
Hey, man, I could see how you could see Daniel Jones and be intrigued, though.
He starts breaking off 60-yard fucking touchdown runs and
like,
shit.
What the hell is this?
Yeah. So yeah, he shows just enough flashes to be like, all right, let's give him another year.
Maybe we just coach him the right way. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So stay tuned on that, man. Really quick, we got 5 more minutes left before we hit the hour mark. It was reported Live Golf offered Tiger Woods $600 to $700 million.
7 to 8.
Oh, 7 to 8. Excuse me. $700 million to $800 million cash USD to join the Live Tour.
Spendable dollars. Listen. I understand legacy. I understand respect. You know what, though? All right, I got 2 thoughts on this. 2 thoughts.
Yeah.
Number 1, I understand legacy. I understand what Tiger wants to do. He wants to break Jack's record. He's still in pursuit of that. He's still in pursuit of immortalness, and he is already immortal in the golf world. But he's all about legacy at this point, right?
Yeah.
And he knows that going to Live will be a huge hit on his legacy, right? He'll no longer be able to contend for majors. He'll be ostracized. He'll be seen as a guy who went after the money.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why he's not going to do it. I think the other thing is, and this is kind of, you remember Barkley was a slate to be a commentator for them, right?
Yeah.
This just happened last week, and then they were interviewing him, and he was like, yeah, TNT's not too happy about it. My corporate sponsors aren't too happy about it, so I'm not sure. And then the next day, Barkley pulls out.
Right.
Maybe for Tiger,
Nike made a call.
Maybe for Tiger, it's like, yeah, I'll get 700 to 800 million, but I also have another 40 years of sponsorship relationships to worry about with Nike, with the watches, with the cars, with Amex, all this different shit.
Yeah,
I'll make that money or close to that money and not have to fucking be a pariah for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Which I just got out of pariah status. I was a pariah for a couple of years and I didn't like it.
I don't want to go up to the press box or I don't want to go up to the press conference and have to explain.
My mom is sitting there crying. You know what I mean? Like,
I've done that before. I didn't like it.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that again.
So the money, and I also have $1 billion already. So money, again, if I make 600 million the rest of my career or 800 million for Live, what's the difference? You know what I mean? I already paid off Ellen. She's got an island somewhere. We're good. So maybe that's how he's thinking about it. But for everybody else,
I think he's in a different spot for sure.
We saw our boy Tony Finau. He's on a crazy run right now. Finau's getting contacted by Liv as we speak, and he's mulling his options. I guarantee you. Just like my man who won the U.S. Open, the next day they announced a sign with Liv for $200 million. That money is real, bro.
Yeah, money's real.
And those guys, if you don't pay attention to what's happening in sports, even my man Adam Silver was like, yeah, we're thinking about doing an exhibition game in Saudi Arabia. Hell yeah, you are, because they're gonna give you $50 million to go out there and fucking play, and your ass will be up there right away. Don't give me none of that shit. Everybody else is moral until they flash 9 figures in your face.
This is the thing. Do I agree with what the Saudis do, how they do business? No.
PSG.
I just also think, like, where do you draw the line on a lot of this stuff? Like, I think there's a lot of dirty money in a lot more things than you even realize.
It's the pot calling the kettle black.
For example, let me give you a perfect example. Live Nation, who throws all your concerts that you go to and all your festivals, the Saudis own 18% of Live Nation. So does that mean you don't go to concerts anymore? So when your favorite artist is playing at the United Center or MetLife or Tomorrowland, at a festival that you've wanted to go to for your whole life in Europe, but Live Nation owns 18% of that. That's a big chunk. Are you not going to concerts anymore?
Right.
Is that what we're doing? So like that's where the NBA is taking a lot of Chinese money.
A lot.
They don't
and don't speak out against it either.
Yo, and they don't have the cleanest record either.
No.
So
a lot of these folks don't. A lot of American money doesn't have the cleanest record. If you get to some of these owners, look up Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Browns' trucking scandal.
Yeah.
He was defrauding his own customers out of tax rebates and pocketing the money. These people are all bad people.
So that's where it gets spooky. And I'm not going to fault anyone going over to live for $200-300 million.
Not especially some of the guys that they're getting after are guys who are kind of in the more like Dustin Johnsons of the world, who it's like I'm at the tail end of when I'm great. Sure. You know what I mean? And this is my last big check. And here's the other thing. PGA, figure it out. We need to get our Edders guy on here to talk about this. I need some details,
broken yoke.
But come on, man, figure it out. Like y'all had it. This is what happens when you get complacent. I'm sure this isn't the first time the golfers have expressed.
Well, I didn't realize the PGA Tour was a nonprofit. That's where it gets like
they're on some NCAA shit.
Yeah, like they don't really have no juice at the end of the day. Like to be honest,
they just have the tournaments.
How does like the fact that the NCAA like ran that as long as they did before like basically the competitors are just taking it over? It's kind of mind-boggling if you think about it. They don't like what exactly. There's no like these guys have no juice. Then when I found out, this is when I knew it was all over or there was going to be some major changes. When I found out that the PGA Tour was banning players, but then they could play in majors. What? Like you have no chance. Like you have zero chance of keeping a guy like Dustin Johnson, who is on the
you're banning me from TPC at Sawgrass.
Yeah, exactly. You're banning me to go to mid-8 to 18
the Riviera next week.
Yeah,
right, yeah.
So you guys have no chance. It doesn't like that's where it got spooky. But at the end of the day, I think that's a good point. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Tiger thought about taking it, called up Nike and was like, "Yo, how would we feel about this type of thing?" And they were like, No, we would have an issue with that.
We have to be on the other side of it.
And I'm going to tell you this.
Yeah.
You know who stood with Tiger through thick and thin the whole way? Nike. They never. The swoosh never wavered.
Never wavered. So
never wavered.
Loyal.
They stayed with Tiger. They stayed with Tiger through the whole thing. When everybody was jumping ship, the swoosh stayed. So I bet you that's a big factor as well.
And you know this, man. Your boy DePaulo will tell you. Everybody knows these professional athletes, they don't work for the teams. LeBron does not work for the Lakers. He works for Nike.
Yeah.
Because 20 years from now, you know who's paying LeBron and building libraries in his name? Nike. Same thing with Tiger. The sponsorships are who you carry with you into retirement. Yes. Right? So like when Chuck said that the other day, I was like, I didn't really think about that's why Tiger turned down the money. Because Chuck, the TNT's like, hey man, you're done with us if you do this. Hey, because we're partners with these people, and we at the American Express. And Chuck's like, man, I can get a couple $1 million calling golf, and it'll be great. Or I can fucking ride this American Express and Buick commercials and NCAA Final Four shit with Spike Lee and Samuel Jackson. I'm getting big coins off that. It's no work.
And then talk hoops.
Talk hoops and bullshit.
And TNT's TNT is doing some other golf stuff anyway. It's all fun.
It's all mixed up like that. So I'm sure it was the same thing with Tiger.
For sure,
how much is he getting from Nike a year? 100 million?
Yeah, it's up there.
80,
I don't know
million?
I don't know the exact figure, but I know Charlie's deal is going to be coming up too.
Exactly.
He's thinking about all that type of shit.
Think about
Charlie's Nike deal. Sure. Then we got Bronny and Bryce, hopefully maybe getting the deal. So you know how it goes. It's all that
that's
shit.
Why you work for Nike.
Yes, exactly.
That's another. We're not going to get into Kyrie, but that's another layer why the Kyrie shit is crazy because he also shat on Nike for no reason and came out ripping his shoes at the beginning of the whole shit is crazy, man.
Well, that's what then the story now too. I was actually talking to DePaulo about this is the whole Devin Booker thing now, and apparently Devin Booker's shoe is going to replace Kyrie's shoe
as a signature line.
On Nike.
So that's a whole guys. Yeah, so that's a lot of money for Kyrie to drop too.
Yeah. So
and he was a Nike top signature guy outside of Bron. He was their guy.
So yeah, we'll see how that shakes. I don't know the final details on that, but stay
either
locked
way,
on that.
man. Like I wasn't shocked after I'd heard the Barkley shit. Then I think 2 days later is when I saw the Wood shit. It made sense. Had I seen it prior, because we'd always heard high 9 figures. Had I seen it prior, to be like, yo, that's crazy. But when I heard Barkley talk about the fact that his brand sponsors are going to walk away from him if he does this, a guy like Tiger has a lot more to lose, man.
Yeah,
a lot more meat on the bone. So,
all right, man, we're back. We'll see y'all next week.
But I'm available, Liv. I'll take all that shit. All that shit, dog.
Exactly, man. Hey, there's more dirty money floating around out here than you realize. So it's 100%. Tough to, I'm not going to get mad at Lee Westwood for taking $50-60 million on the back end of his career and has never won a major and is basically a top 100 golfer.
And you know who else isn't mad? Mrs. Westwood. She ain't mad either.
Yeah. She's carrying his bag.
She said, take all that shit.
Exactly.
Oh, is his wife his caddy?
His wife is his caddy. That's why.
She got a check too.
Yeah, exactly.
We're good.
Shout out Lee Westwood
and
his lady.
Again, everybody's noble until that check comes into your face.
All right, man, but we're back. I appreciate you guys listening to the first EP back. Once we get back in the groove here, it'll be lit. You already know that. We got football coming up. Couple weeks will be fun. We got a lot of stuff coming up from No Catch Up. We might be live from a different location as well. We'll talk about that another time. But for Big Nick the Quick, I'm your host, Sean Little. Make sure you subscribe everywhere. Tell the homies to tell a friend. Let them know that we're back. Share the episode, download it, do whatever you got to do. Holler at the DMs if you ever want to chat with me and Nick, man. DMs are always open. We're always going back and forth with people. So always shoot us a message, say what's up. And that's it for us. Week 1, back off of summer break. No Catch Up Sports Talk via Chicago. We're out of here.